I just would like to move over to our next speaker, who's based in Hawaii. He's a wonderful Kirtaniya and a wonderful god brother of ours. I'm going to let Ramananda say a couple of words about him so that he can introduce him much better than I am, and then we'll hand over to the speaker.
Hare Krishna. Well, I could actually do another 55-hour Zoom programming glorifying Gaurasundara Prabhu, but I know we don't have time for that. I know him quite well, I have to say. I traveled with him. I stayed with him together in a Mathura Math for a while, and I can say from experience, he's a very humble devotee, always staying in the background. In fact, when he was in Mathura Math, I think he himself didn't even know how amazing he could sing. Like, he was afraid to grab the mic. He didn't want to sing, but he was forced by the devotees there. When he started singing, everybody's like, oh, whoa, he's amazing. And even he was shocked, I believe. And yes, he became one of Gurudev's favorite Kirtaniyas. He imbibed Gurudev's mood, and Gurudev always would ask for him to sing. But more than that, in Brajmandal Dham Parikrama, he was and is for me also the most exemplary person that kept the Kirtan party together. He would be jumping on the very first bus going on and make sure that the Womper player, the Mridanga player, the speaker, and the mic were on that bus, so that when we would arrive wherever Gurudev was, the Kirtan party was ready. And he would make sure when we're going, all of us jump again on the very first bus so we'd get to the next place, and Gurudev was always happy. And I know for a fact that after he stopped coming to Parikrama, that wasn't happening anymore. The Womper was over here, Mridanga was over there, and nobody knew where the microphone was. And Gurudev would be sitting there waiting, and we're all just clapping in our hands because there was no Mridanga player. Gaurasundara was the one who took care of those Kirtan parties to stay together and was pleasing Gurudev so much. And you encouraged me to sing and play as well. In Parikrama, you were forcing me. Of course, didn't turn out as great, but I was like, hey, you know, I can try at least. And it was thanks to you. Gurudev speaks about you with so much love and affection. Whenever Gurudev talks about Gaurasundara, there's so much love in his voice. And we are so lucky that we can hear from you, Gaurasundara. I'm so happy that I could walk, dance, and talk with you. And in the Mathura Math, I remember we had mice problems, and you would take care of all the Mridangas, hang them up high so they wouldn't be destroyed by the mice. Okay, I've taken away his time and the person's time before you, so I'll stop now. Thank you, Gaurasundara Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare bro, is the volume okay? Volume is okay?
Yes, it's perfect, Prabhuji.
All right. Om Gyanati Vrandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurumritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurudeva Namah. First off, I'm Namata Dhamma Pranam to Shri Gurudev and pray for his mercy and pray for some mercy to glorify him, and also to my Guru Parampara, and my pranams to the Ramananda Prabhu who got me to come on here, encouraged me, and all the other managers and facilitators. So you can just tell me when to stop. I don't think I'm so worthy to speak. I'm a better listener. So you just tell me how much time I have. I can just stop any time, no problem. So actually, when I never tell how I met Gurudev when I do these Vyasa Puja offerings, but probably a lot of people don't know me so well, or don't know me at all. So I'll just say something that so I'll just say a few impressions when I first met Gurudev. And actually, before I met Gurudev, I was asking my mother, like, who are the gurus, in the world today? And she said some names, and she said Srila Gurudev's name, Srila Narayana Gosvami Maharaja. And then she said, oh, but she said that one day. And a couple of days later, I asked again, what were those names you told me? And I said, she said them again. I said, yeah, the last one. I said, my Gurudeva, I said, Srila Narayana Maharaj. She said, oh, but I heard some strange things. She said, oh, I've heard that he said that Prabhupada only preached Vaikuntha Bhakti. He only preached Bhakti will take us to Vaikuntha. And I was like, that seems strange. I asked my mom, well, but he knows that Prabhupada has given Bhagavatam. He knows that Prabhupada established Radha Krishna deities. So actually there must be something more, more to the case. So, and then I just sort of had that conversation with my mom, and then I just kind of forgot about it. And then just by Krishna's mercy, on a trip, going to the mainland, not even knowing where I was going, I ended up in Badger. And I guess my mom just thought she was visiting friends, and there's a festival here at the same time, so let's go through devotees. And so this way I got to, see Gurudev, even without even planning for it. And, my only questions were that, well, is he in the same line as Srila Prabhupada? That's the only thing I really wanted to know. And that's what I'd asked my mom. I remember coming to the lectures and not really understanding so much, but, little. And then my mom would hear from the devotees and tell me, what's the report? In my mind, I thought, well, if he says, well, Prabhupada did this, but, he was wrong in this area, or he could have done this, something like that, that would be like, I didn't want that. I didn't want to hear that. So when I heard that not only was he favorable, but he was actually good friends with Srila Prabhupada, and that he helped him in so many ways, and, fully in the same line, then I was, enthusiastic to take initiation. Now I skip forward to when I first came to India, just being in Mathura and seeing Gurudev. My very first impression was how I never really met any, I never met really and had the association of such a devotee, a guru, like a guru before. Even we were not, out in Hawaii, not so really connected to the ISKCON temple so much. So, some devotee would come through here and there, but not really in the whole, the whole temple scene as well. But the first impression was that, wow, Guru is actually not an enjoyer. He's not just receiving all this worship and praise for himself. But actually Guru is just seeing Guru, how much attachment and how much faith and how much nishta he had for his own Gurudev. And we start Kartik with Srila Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj's disappearance day. So it's always there's always very grave and very deep mood, a very deep connection we can feel with Gurudev's offering his pranam mantras to his Gurudev, Param Gurudev. And then I guess there were so many little impressions, things we learned. And I, sometimes when I hear devotees of Prabhupada, Pujapad Shri Shamarani Didi, when she's talking about the olden days with Srila Prabhupada, then I feel I want to go back to that day and, be there. And when I hear the glorification, the older times of Param Gurudev and the disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Bhakti Daitav Madhav Maharaj, Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, and all their stories, and I feel I want to go back at that time and I do, but then when I just remember just Brajmandal Prikrama, the early years, 97 was my first Brajmandal Prikrama, and the sweetness, just to be with Gurudev and really feeling that Gurudev was really just in his element, just so perfect in Brajmandal, and going to the places, and and when you're young, I was only 16, my first Brajmandal Prikrama. When you're young, at least for me, I can't say that, I can't say like some of the disciples who, they have such a deep and grave and such a heart-to-heart connection with Gurudev, and they're having so many realizations, and they can understand all the intricacies of the classes. I can't say that for myself. Just like a simple boy, still like ignorant, foolish I am. But so we catch something. That's why I think if I could go back, just go back to those times of Brajmandal, and now having like learned a little more, and practice half amount of bhajan, really be able to appreciate these Brajmandal Prikramas. So many little stories and interactions with Gurudev. One thing I remembering kind of sitting in Mathura class, Gurudev was talking about, Surit, like, he was just talking about something pretty high. It was kind of going over my head a little bit. And then, thinking, oh, appreciating the Harikatha and liking it, but also sort of, sometimes Gurudev would give more like, Brahmachari Katha, or, Sadhan Katha. And, I'd like that more. Or I want Gurudev to, speak something like that. But it's like after, all these years, really realizing that, what is the most we can do, we might think, like, if we think of who's a good devotee, someone who's really fixed up, they do all their, they wake up early and they chant their rounds, and they, they follow a really strict sadhan schedule. That's all true. It's all true. But at the same time, the essence is, do they love Krishna? Do they love Radha and Krishna? Do they have attachment for Radha and Krishna? An attachment for Brajamandal? And so you can be, the best brahmachari in the existence, right? And have all these, cities or whatever. So much, like, what was it called? Tej, and so much purity. But you can be someone actually very fallen and very unworthy, and actually have so many anarthas. But because of Gurudev's association, he's awakened some desire, some greed, that, that you want to head in that direction of Vrindavan. And really, that's actually way more valuable, so much more valuable. But that's our whole process is of like turning from Bahir Mukh to Antar Mukh. Like our face turning away from Krishna to turning toward Krishna is a big process. And in the beginning we may be doing all these things, following sadhana and doing things, but really our chitta vritti, the tendency of our heart, is still not really turned toward Krishna fully. And so this is why Gurudeva would like remind us and, bring to our attention, like, you have to know what your goal is. You're just doing your sadhana. If you're just doing your chanting, not know which direction you're going or what your goal is, then it's good, but it's not, it's not enough. So just, remembering Gurudev and Braj Mandal, and how Gurudev would just, there'd be other speakers that could speak nicely, but then when Gurudev would speak, how it would affect us, and just feel like these golden words coming out of Gurudev's mouth and into our ears and hearts. And even though, we may not be able to even fully appreciate it really at the time, it's like making such a samskar, such an impression that really you cannot get anywhere, There's a verse, was this? I forget the verse, but it's saying, what you should try to aim for that thing which you cannot get from traveling the 14 planetary systems and, wondering the whole world, the whole universe. So what's that thing? Bhakti, but more specifically, like, Raja Bhakti, Radha Dasyam Bhakti. So this is really the essence of sadhu sangha. Sadhu sangha means we become influenced by the sadhu, is like I said, like a crystal that reflects the light, the colors of the light that's around it. So, and this is the thing that, Gurudeva would quote the verse, Krishna Bhakti Bhavi Tamati Priyatam Kuto Pilabdite Tachaloyam Api Mola Mekalam Janma Kotu Sakitam Labyate. So Krita can get you into a position favorable for bhakti and association, but by Sukriti alone, you cannot get this Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavi Tamati. So that comes when you get the association of devotee, but not just any devotee, a devotee who has to have it himself, this natural and spontaneous love for Krishna, love for Radha and Krishna. So, how much time do I have left? Let's see, 10:22. It seems like time is already over.
5 more minutes, Prabhuji.
Huh?
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes, okay. So, I was able to be with Gurudeva. I tried to come. It was during massage time. Or anytime there was some service to wash his clothes or do something for him. And it was always very nice to see, how Gurudeva would interact with different devotees who would come to see him and have darshan. Remember one time, in Delhi, someone came and, in India, sometimes they'll sell like a pumpkin, like half cut. Someone else bought, the other half, and so the shop seller just sells like half a pumpkin. I remember one time, someone came in, it was either before or after massage, and they gave Gurudeva this like it was either half a watermelon or half a pumpkin. And then Gurudeva looked at it and it's like, the Guru wants whole. Krishna wants the whole thing. And so Gurudeva was telling, like, we want Gurudeva, Krishna, they want the full surrender. So this was why Gurudeva was Acharya, because we hear from Gurudeva and Vaishnavas how Gurudev, when he came to his Gurudev, and the question of Gurudev taking sannyas was, I think Param Gurudev asked Srila Gurudev, will you take sannyas if I want to give? And he said, oh, I've surrendered myself fully to you. That I've given my all affection, all love I had for this world, my family, I offer it to you, and I surrender to you. And so, yes, if you want to make me sannyas, if you want to give me white cloth, make me naked, anything. So this is how Gurudev has. He said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Diksha kale bhakta kare atma samapan se kale Krishna tare kore atma sam. Actually, when a devotee surrenders to Krishna, then Krishna makes that devotee like himself. So the qualities of the Vaishnava, the 26 qualities and other, like this quality is mentioned in the Gita, these are qualities of Krishna. And so Gurudev is Acharya because he's showing us this. What is surrender? Full surrender. Gurudev wants whole, everything. There's a quote by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. I think it's the last thing I'll have time to say. Is that if we surrender ourselves 100% to Krishna, then Krishna will become ours. And he says, unless sadhu sangha and sadhu and guru sangha and sadhu and guru seva become an integral part of our life, then the desire to give 100% does not arise in us. So Krishna is complete, and he wants complete. He wants complete surrender. He wants us completely. And so I'm very grateful to all you God brothers and God sisters who are giving this encouragement, and we're giving your association and sharing your moods. I pray to also Srila Gurudev and all the Vaishnavas that we can actually come into this line and follow like how Gurudev did, with complete surrender, and this way progress on this this path to Radha Krishna, especially Radha Dasa. So thank you very much, and forgive me, I'm most unworthy. Thank you.
Gaurasundara Prabhu, now I know why Ramananda Prabhu asked you to speak. You are so beautiful and amazing, and I'm feeling very fortunate to have your association, actually. The Gurudev Sangha is so beautiful. I didn't even realize how beautiful it is. And each flower has a special fragrance, and you definitely have this beautiful fragrance. You can feel your love and affection for Srila Gurudev through this camera. So I'm feeling very fortunate that we're once again all sitting together and praising Srila Gurudev as one family, and we get to hear from his darling sons like you. So thank you so much. That's all I can say to you. My words are limited, but that's all I have to offer at the moment. So thank you. Dandavat pranams, Prabhuji.